Well. Guess who decided to join on my channel? Today I'm here with my girlfriend and she's prepared me 15 questions about different topics on self-improvement, spirituality, faith, working out, business, and we will cover them in this podcast style video, so let's go.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to ask, do you think chasing money can ever fulfill a person, or do you think it's just a distraction from doing inner work or inner self-improvement?
Money can never fulfill a person, but money can solve 99% of someone's problems. So chasing money in today's world is important to basically secure yourself, your family and everybody around you, because like I said, there are two types of problems in this world. The first type is problems that money can solve, and the second type of problems is problems that a lot of money can solve. Like I said, 99% of your problems can be solved with money, but there is still that 1% that can never be solved with money. So like for example, someone dear to you dying, you cannot buy them back from heaven or something. So money is not the most important thing in your world, in your life, but it's pretty important. But if you think that you can avoid your inner work, basically avoid working on yourself just by earning lots of amounts of money, that's a lie. Because I've heard and I know so many rich people, they are millionaires, billionaires, and I've heard them online and everywhere, but they are miserable. Working on your inner self can never be avoided. It's better for you to do it before making money, so then when you have more money you don't struggle. But it cannot be avoided, and money cannot solve that types of problems. I mean, it can help you like with hiring the best mentors and the best psychiatrists out there, but at the end of the day, the most important thing that you must do is basically by yourself.
Nice. Okay, so the second one is the idea of hustle culture actually toxic for long-term success and self-worth?
The hustle culture in today's world is a bit toxic, and I've talked about this in my latest videos. You cannot just be hustling, or there are two types of people: the people who want to just hustle and the people who want to lay on their bed and manifest miracles in their life. You gotta combine both. Hustling is the masculine part, and manifesting, being, is the feminine part. Basically, God created this world. He created us people, men and women, and they made men masculine, women feminine, so we can work together. That's the same with your business, with money, with everything. You gotta combine your masculinity, you hustling, with the femininity of you being. So whatever you do in this world, first of all, let's take financial freedom for example. Let's say you want to become a businessman, but right now you're a broke kid living in your parents' basement. First of all, you gotta declare yourself a businessman, a financially free person, but also you gotta do the hustle. You cannot just manifest, just lay on your couch and try to manifest miracles. That's not gonna happen. But also just hustling will get you to like you working 12 hours per day, every single day, being burned out, not enjoying your money, not being free, basically being slave to money, so you don't want that.
Nice. Okay. So the next one is how do you respond to people who say faith or spirituality has no place in the business?
Spirituality has everything to do with business, because you know that, I don't know if you know the kid that's going through America asking millionaires how did they become rich?
Yes, I know.
Like 90% of those people say they became rich when they started reading the Bible. So spirituality has everything to do with your money, because God knows why are you here on this earth. You are here on this earth with some purpose. You getting money, you becoming rich, it's not the purpose. That's part of the purpose. If you become rich, God has other plans for you. I watched this latest podcast with Georgienko. So he said that the part of his journey was to become rich just so he can help other people. He's helped like 3,000 something kids who don't have fathers, to raise them, to pay for their universities, to basically help their careers. So money is not everything in your life, and you can become rich, but your bigger purpose in life that God gave you, maybe that's not just money, maybe it's you helping people, maybe I feel that my journey is to help people with videos like this, but getting the money is just part of the journey. Of course I'm gonna spoil myself and her and my family, but the bigger purpose, the bigger picture is me helping the people. This is just part of it. Maybe when I get more money I will help even more. So yeah, spirituality has to do everything. If you're a bad person when you're broke, you will be even worse when you have money. If you're a jerk when you're broke, you will be a bigger jerk when you have money. So you gotta first of all be a good person.
Thank you. Okay, so the next one. Can working out be a form of spiritual practice, or is it just vanity in disguise?
I've read a recent study that working out erases 90 or 80% of your traumas. So it's proven that working out can basically erase your problems in life. If you have some struggles, if you have some stress, problems, anxiety, whatever it is, and you just go and like I like to say, you're raw dogging the weights. You just you will basically be in a better place. First of all, it's better for your mental game. Second of all, for your health. Third of all, you look better. So working out has all these benefits. I mean, if you look at the bad sides, like injuries will happen if you work out and if you don't work out. So the benefits of you working out are bigger, and I think it is like a form of a meditation, form of something like a spiritual work, because like I said, it's proven that it helps you with your mental state as well. Kickboxing has helped me in my worst times, when my parents were going through a divorce, when I had some toxic friends, before I met her, so when I had some relationship problems, whatever it is, kickboxing has always been a good part of my life, and I've learned so much good traits out of kickboxing. So doing any kind of sport, I always recommend young people to go through some martial arts classes, because it builds resilience, it builds discipline, it builds your body. Everything that is good comes from these sports. So yeah, if you're a young man, just sign up to a kickboxing or boxing. It will have a lot of benefits for you.
So you basically become more mental and more physically attractive if you work out.
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Okay, so, and what's one personal insecurity or shadow you had to confront in order to grow your business?
I was scared of spending money. So before I became financially free, I hold on to my money dearly, like it was this big part of my life, and I was scared to spend. I had some amounts of money that I saved for dark days. I hold them like my life depended on them, and I was broke, I was miserable, I didn't have any money coming in my life. But once I got that like fear of spending out of my way, once I got my money and spent them, not on stupid shit, I didn't go to the casino, I didn't go to some hookers, but I invested my money, I bought a new phone so I can record better videos. I kind of invested and spent that money in a smart way, and that's how I think I broke the curse of being afraid of spending money, but also just having the discipline to sit down and be able to work. In today's world, we all have the goldfish attention span. No one wants to sit and do the boring work, but you know, everyone wants to just go on TikTok and scroll and have these instant dopamine hits. But you gotta be able to set that aside, and when you're working, just don't get distracted by anything. You're in your zone, you're working on your business or whatever it is. Leave all electronics aside and just be able to focus, because they said Bill Gates and Warren Buffett in two different rooms, and they asked him what's the number one most effective thing that has helped you become rich, and they both said focus. It wasn't planned, it wasn't scripted, so it gotta be true.
Okay, nice. How has pain, emotional or physical, or even spiritual, shaped the man that you are today?
Being through tough times, going through pain has made me the man I am today. If I had a soft life, if I was born richer, if I was born in a nicer environment, nicer neighborhood, if I had a softer life, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I became a European kickboxing champion, I became financially free on my own, I'm in a 7-year-long relationship, and I have around myself great friends, and I've built all of this just because I've went through the hard times and the pains that I've went through in my life. So without pain, your life, especially as a man, cannot be completed. Every young man, I've been talking about this in my videos, every young man should get his heart break. Every young man should basically go through pain so he can become a stronger version of himself, because through hard times, good people are made. You know, if you want to create a beautiful ring with an expensive gemstone, it has to go through hardship. It has to go through all the melting, all the, with the hammers beating up and everything. It has to go through all that shit just so it can become a beautiful stone, so someone like her, someone beautiful like her can wear, and it will be valuable. So valuable men are created through hard times, and whatever hard time you're going through right now, just smile, because you will go through it. It's not the end of the world, and you will be thankful that it happened.
So you think it's necessary for a man to go through those
100%,
cycles?
yeah. If your life was just easy, you wouldn't be the man you are today. Remember all the hard things that you went through. You've always came up better. You've always came up stronger, sharper, smarter, everything. So they're necessary for life.
Okay, the next one. Do you think most people secretly fear success more than they fear failure?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of today's world, because people are just so tied up of what their parents gonna say, what their relatives, what their neighbors gonna say. People who are in poor environments are scared to basically disappoint the people around you by being successful. You know, when you are with poor people, and if you somehow became rich, they would all start just looking you with, with side eyes. You will be the black sheep of the group. So people are basically scared of success just because of this. And if you want to become successful, you gotta stop gathering yourself with all these poor people, with all this shit, and start actually going out with more successful people, so you see how life is around successful people, so it can be implemented in your life, and you can basically adopt their traits of the successful people instead of the poor people. And yeah, I think people in today's world are basically kind of scared of huge amounts of money. And a great question to ask yourself, if you're a young man who is going on a self-improvement and wanting to become businessman, wanting to become rich, just ask yourself, how would you treat money if money was a person? Would money be your best friend? Would you be scared of money? Would you treat it like the villain from a horror movie, you just running away from it? Sit down and think about this, and just don't be scared from success.
Thank you. Okay. What's your opinion on the people who say you attract who or what you are? Is that true or false?
If you want to change your personal reality, you gotta change your personality. This is, I think, well known thanks to Joe Dispenza, but I cannot stress out how important and how true this is. Whatever it is that you're saying out loud, whatever it is that you're thinking in your mind, that projects into your reality. We've been having these conversations. I was telling her to, just think about start opening her own language school and things like this. And the first thing she said was, "Oh no, but what would this guy say and how would I start now?" All this objection, all these negative things. And I was like, if you're thinking negative before even starting, don't start. You gotta start something, you gotta go into your life by having a positive mindset, and don't just be positive, like don't lie to yourself, but believe what you're saying. This morning I woke up saying that I am the luckiest person alive, that I am financially free, that I am loved by God, and that God is helping me through every single step of my life. So if you approach life like this, how can anything stop you, man? How can you go to a kickboxing tournament saying to people, I'm gonna lose, and expect to win? It's nonsense. She is the only person that believed in me like blindly. I was telling everybody, I'm going on a European kickboxing tournament and I'm gonna become the European kickboxing champion, and almost no one believed in me except her. And when I came back and when I actually became the champion, everybody was like, oh yeah, great for you, but not everybody believed in me. So you gotta be a little bit delusional. Say that you're a financially free person even though you're a broke loser, because you have better chances of achieving something great by saying these positive things instead of you saying, oh, I'm miserable, I'm loser, and this and that. It's not helping you. It's like trying to run a marathon with you shooting your knee before that. You cannot do that.
Have you ever sabotaged your own progress? If so, what was the deeper reason behind it?
I think the worst distraction for me and every single young man in today's world is social media. I think if it wasn't for social media, not all social media, but short form content. If it wasn't for short form content, I think I would be a millionaire by right now. So I think that's the biggest distraction. That's like it's like a drug. I think it's very addictive, and it's very addictive because your dopamine is getting fed every single second, and you just find yourself scrolling 3 hours per day. And instead of you scrolling for 3 hours, if you worked on your business that 3 hours, you would be closer to your goals. So I think things like that, social media, porn addiction, I'm not doing drugs, so I don't know, that must be a huge distractor, a huge thing that's sabotaging you. Alcohol, I don't know, because if you're drinking every day, yeah, it will ruin your life, but if you drink like occasionally, like once every month, it's not gonna ruin your life. So I think in the modern world, social media might be the worst distractor, the worst thing that is sabotaging young people from achieving their goals, because their brain is getting fucked up, their dopamine is getting fucked up, they have all these unrealistic expectations, they see all this naked woman, they get distracted, and it's not a good place to be in.
So social media has ruined basically everything: love, relationships, modern dating, money,
It has some
businesses.
good sides, but it has some bad sides as well. So whatever you create in this world, even if you create the biggest antivirus in the world, some people are going to use it and create the virus out of it. So it brings some beautiful stuff, but it also brings destruction. So it depends on how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, social media has helped me do this basically. Some people are being able to help millions of people because of social media, and that's the good side. But on the other hand, social media is getting you addicted to scrolling randomly, pointlessly, and that's the bad side of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is self-discipline more important than passion when it comes to building something lasting?
Self-discipline is the most important thing, because today you can be passionate about watches, tomorrow you can be passionate about cars, and the next day you can be passionate about growing grapes. But if you are disciplined, you can be doing the most boring business out there, but it's gonna provide you for the rest of your life. Passion, it's like you can have the passion about something, but you can do it as a hobby, but it's not gonna bring you money. You will not survive out of that. But when it comes to discipline, that's the most important thing, because without discipline, you cannot do anything. You can feel motivated to go to the gym right now, and you will go to the gym, you will feel great. But tomorrow when you wake up and when you don't feel motivated, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go to the gym. If we worked out based out of motivation, we would go to the gym maybe 2 times per month. After recording this, we will go to the gym. I'm not motivated, but I'm disciplined, so I will go regardless. Discipline, compared with focus, they are the most important thing if you want to achieve anything in this life.
If you had to choose 6 figures in the bank right now or inner peace, what would you choose?
I think it's possible to have both. Why not? If you think that it is possible, it's possible. Right now I have the inner peace, and I'm striving towards that 6 figure in my bank account. But I am 100% sure that if you believe in it, you can have both. Regardless of what everyone's saying, regardless of the people are saying like more money, more problems, I like to hear people saying that something is impossible and proving them wrong. I've proved that many times, and I will do that to the rest of my life. So with trust in God, you can do anything. If you want to, if I wanted to, I would be the next man on Mars or the moon, whatever it is. So whatever it is that you desire and you set your mind to, you can achieve. Whether that's being a billionaire and having a peaceful life, you can also do that. So whatever it is that you want, if you're dedicated enough, you will achieve it.
Okay. Can someone become successful without doing shadow work, or do you think that is just success on the surface, not on a deeper level?
Everybody can become successful without doing shadow work,
Mhm.
but the problem is what after. That's the question, because a lot of people have post-success depression. If you don't believe it, this is very true, because almost 90% of the people go through this phase. They were like, yeah, I'm gonna become successful, I'm gonna become rich, and every of the problems in my life will be solved. But once they become rich, they're like, what now? I have more money than to know what to do with. I don't have to work a single hour to the rest of my life. Everybody around me is provided. What now? They fall into depression just out of success. And it's ridiculous to hear it, but this is a real thing. You can become successful without doing shadow work, but do you really want to go through that path, and do you really want to fall into the depression after accumulating this success? I don't think it's worth it. It's always better, this ties to the previous question, to have a peace of mind than to have a lot of money. But like I said, you can achieve both, and if you work on your shadow self, you will be peaceful and rich. You will not have that post-success traumas and depressions.
How do you deal with people who project their own fears or failures into you?
I either try to help them or I cut them out of my life. I've sat down with people who say that my dreams are too unrealistic, and I basically decide not to sit down with those people anymore. If I have to sit down with them, I'm either not gonna talk about the topics again because I don't want their toxic way of thinking, their limited way of thinking, or I basically cut them out of my life because I want to surround myself with people who help me propel in life, who believe in me, and who have the limitlessness in their brain like me. I'm not gonna sit down with sheep if I'm the tiger. Have you seen a tiger sitting down with sheep?
No.
So that's the answer.
Thank you. Do you believe the gym can heal trauma, or do you think sometimes people use fitness to avoid deeper traumas, deeper connections on deeper levels?
A lot of the gym bros will agree to this, that they're going to the to the gyms after their breakup, after they've been through some traumatic experience. And I say, if it helps you, do that, because like I said, the gym can be a form of healing, a form of meditation. So it's proven that it helps. It's the best if you combine the working out with maybe seeking professional help, not with the regular psychiatrist, but there are other alternatives. So maybe you can hire a coach, like a self-improvement coach, something like that. Everybody that knows this and has been going to the gym with their heart broken or whatever it is, some different trauma, they have like this Goku power. They are like insanely powerful. So if it helps you, go for it, do it.
And the last one, one truth about entrepreneurship that no one wants to talk about but needs to be said.
The single truth that probably no one is going to tell you about entrepreneurship is that it's not all rainbows and flowers. It's not this beautiful lifestyle like you see Iman Geji, all these millionaires living in Dubai, going on their yachts, being surrounded by 10 supermodels with their Rolexes and Lamborghinis. That's maybe like 20 to 30% of their life. But 70% of what you don't see is they sit down, their sleepless nights, they're working very hard, they're stressed, they're dealing with people, dealing with employees. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you gotta accept that it's not like your 9 to 5 job. There are no weekends, there are no holidays, like days that you can just rest. Being an entrepreneur is you waking up and thinking about all the problems you can solve that day so you can become richer. there are no like you going on the work and you just being there 8 hours doing what your boss tells you, and that's it. You go home and you relax, you open up a beer and you watch football. Forget about that life. If you want to be an entrepreneur, from the moment you're awake to the moment you close your eyes and you go to sleep, your brain works all the time. You think about solving problems, you think about making money, you think about all the problems that you have around your life, how to solve them. And a very important thing that I've seen, especially young entrepreneurs struggle with, they don't know what to do if they don't have a boss over their head to tell them what to do. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you cannot be depending on someone else to tell you what to do. You gotta be willing to wake up and know what you have to do. The problem with today's people is they're not disciplined, and they wake up, they want to be an entrepreneur, and the first thing they do after they wake up is they scroll on social media. But the successful entrepreneur doesn't do that. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you gotta know, and you gotta be your own boss. You gotta separate yourself and like imagine a figure that you have that is always yelling at you, telling you what to do, because sometimes you're not gonna come up with the ideas, but you have to be disciplined to just get to work basically. You cannot be an entrepreneur and just sit on your couch and watch football with beer. You can do that from time to time, but like I told you, being an entrepreneur is not easier than being a 9-to-5 guy, but it's more rewarding. So you gotta choose what you want. You can have a basically well-paying, stable, and good 9-to-5 if you're that type of guy, and you can be happy forever. You can, have your wife, have your kids, have your house, one car, go on vacation once per year. If that's your way of life, if that makes you happy, go for it. But there are people who are not satisfied with one vacation per year, with one car, with one house. For example, me. So I'm willing to go, basically take the risk. I'm not having a stable job right now, even though there are friends around me who have more stable jobs than me, who basically are more secure, they have their pensions and everything. But at the end of the day, you gotta manage your risk. Do you want to go and work for someone else for 40 years so just you can enjoy the 20 remaining years of your life from 60 to, if you live to 70 to 80? Or do you want to take a risk, maybe 5 years of your life, to struggle a bit and then you live your life on your own terms? That's for you to decide, my friend. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.